Bulavinaka, and welcome to this instructional video for the implementation of the Performance Management Framework. The Performance Framework provides a guideline for regular formal performance assessment that confirms the criteria and parameters for applying performance-based payments. This framework can confirm contract and salary step upon completion of probation, as well as confirm the criteria for contract renewal based on performance. The framework supports the requirements for employees to understand their responsibilities fully with regards to relevant ministry codes of conduct, public service values, and individual standards of work performance. The Performance Management Framework was approved by the Public Service Commission in November 2017 as part of the ongoing civil service reforms. The goal of the reforms is to develop a modern, high-performing civil service that is responsive to government priorities while providing quality service to the public. The full reform program is managed by the Civil Service Reform Management Unit. The purpose of this video is to introduce the principles of the new Performance Management Framework, what that means to you as an employee of the government, and what input you would need to contribute as the civil service implements this new performance management system. What is performance management? Performance management is ongoing communication between employees and supervisors working in partnership to establish clear expectations and understanding of job objectives, how employees' jobs contribute to ministry goals, what doing the job well means in concrete terms, and improving or building on existing performance. Changes are happening to the way performance is assessed in the Fijian civil service. There's a new performance management framework that sets out the means to formally assess performance across the Fijian civil service. There's a lot that's new: guiding principles, assessment forms, timeframes, assessment definitions, salary steps, and performance payments. New guiding principles. Employees must be advised of the criteria for assessment prior to assessment. Individual work plans will include key performance indicators listed in the job description and activities which are directly linked to the ministry objectives and the operational plans. Performance is measured against outputs and outcomes as approved in the individual work plan and results verified against documented ministry outcomes. Assessment is evidence-based, relevant, and moderated for consistency and fairness. Both employees and supervisors participate in the assessment. Employees are able to take responsibility for their progress against their planned objectives and can contribute to the resulting performance assessment. Performance assessments contribute to a culture of learning and development and ongoing achievement in the ministry. Performance conversations between supervisors and employees are regular and relevant. An objective appeals process is available for genuine grievances against the process of result. There is a new form for all employees to complete to assess your performance over the year. It's called MyAPA, My Annual Performance Assessment. MyAPA will be evidence-based. Evidence of your achievements will be described on the form. It will include a learning and development plan. This is a way for you to identify what skills and knowledge you need to develop to perform your job effectively. It will be moderated for fairness and consistency and approved by the Permanent Secretary. It will also provide the opportunity for you to appeal against the decision if you feel it has not been assessed properly. The new assessment timeframe is May to April annually. This applies to all employees, including those working the financial year or calendar year of activities. Employees will need to include a full 12 months of activity in the assessment. In May, work plans are to be updated based on the ministry operation plan and relevant department, unit, or division plans. The timeframes are aligned to the budget for salary increases. There is a progress assessment against the work plan in November using MyAPA but not moderated. Copy is kept by HR. The media assessment supports regular performance reviews and gives an opportunity to track progress against the work plan and if there is any skill gaps that need discussing. The MyAPA assessment is not due until April. If you are assessed as developing competence, This means you have achieved less than 100% of the work plan, less than 75% of planned work within the approved timelines, and you need greater levels of supervision. You'll be rated at either step 1, 2 or 3. If you are assessed as fully competent, this means you have achieved 100% of the work plan, greater than 75% of planned work within the approved timelines, and you need normal levels of supervision. You'll be rated at step 4. If you are assessed as exceeding expectations, this means you have achieved above 100% of the work plan, including 90% to 100% within the approved timelines, and you need normal supervision. Your performance will be tagged at either step 5, 6 or 7. If you are assessed as developing competence, the salary step will depend on whether you are beginning in the role. Step 1, you require supervision and training for most tasks. Most work can only be completed following instruction and with supervision. Less than 40% of work can be completed without prior instruction or supervision. Developing in the role. Step 2, you require supervision and training for some tasks. Some work can only be completed following instruction and with supervision. Approximately 40 to 60% of work can be completed without prior instruction or supervision. Competent. Step 3, you can complete most tasks, require supervision and training for new tasks or for tasks not completed often. Approximately 70 to 80% of work can be completed without prior instruction or supervision. Let's look at our current salary bands and how they might relate to your performance assessment. New performance payment. If you are performing above and beyond what is expected, you'll be paid an annual salary at step 4 and receive a one-off lump sum for performance at either step 5, 6 or 7. This is performance payment. Performance payment is the difference between step 4 and the step assessed at step 5, 6 or 7. Performance payments are capped and paid through budget savings and productivity improvements. New salary step changes. Salary step increments and performance payment applies only to employees who have completed a minimum of 9 months of continuous service in the job for which they will be assessed. Salary step increment changes take effect from the first pay in the new financial year. Performance payment will be made in the current year before 31st July. Who completes MyAPA? All ministry employees. Those who are on a current contract or permanently employed, receiving a wage or salary. In MyAPA form, you will provide evidence of your achievements and rate yourself against these. Your supervisor will also provide a rating for you. You fill in the employee parts and give it to your supervisor. HR will assist you by filling out this first part of the assessment. Part 2. My individual work plan. This part should have been filled prior to the assessment. In 2018, the individual work plan should be completed in February and includes the following. Transfer key performance indicators to Part 2. Add your planned activities. What will be your evidence of achievement? Add which outcomes or outputs in your ministry operation plan your KPI best supports. Your work plan must be discussed and agreed with your supervisor. Part 3. My Performance Assessment. Retrieve your individual work plan and job description and begin your assessment. Transfer key performance indicators from Part 2. Think about what you have achieved over the past 12 months based on your KPIs. Provide specific and relevant evidence. Based on the evidence, rate yourself as fully competent or developing competence or exceeds expectations. Do you need to attach evidence? No, do not attach evidence to your MyAPA form. Your supervisor will confirm your evidence to be factual and correct. You may want to take evidence to discuss with your supervisor during performance conversations. Code of Conduct. Part 4 is all about how well employees uphold the Code of Conduct, a requirement of all Fijian civil servants at all times. Think about how you, through your actions, have upheld the Code of Conduct. Have you behaved as a professional, ethical civil servant? Provide specific and relevant evidence. Based on your evidence, rate yourself as developing competence or fully competent or exceeds expectations. Core capabilities. Part 5 is about the core capability requirements of all civil servants during their day-to-day work. These are interpersonal skills, producing quality work, and working in a team. If you are a supervisor or a manager, this includes managerial skills and corporate responsibility. Provide specific and relevant evidence. Based on your evidence, rate yourself as developing competence or fully competent or exceeds expectations. Part 6. Learning and Development Plan. Part 6 is about your learning at work, for current jobs and for future jobs. Think about what skills could help you get the work done. Focus on 1 to 3 skills. Be specific about how you will develop the skills through on-the-job training, coaching, practice, special projects, mentoring or peer support. Outcome. What do you want to be able to do because of this new skill? When do you want to learn this new skill by? Part 7. Overall Assessment. The supervisor will provide comments to add additional information and checks that the form is complete. The supervisor will meet with the employee within 2 weeks of receiving the form to provide feedback on the assessment and the final rating. The employee and the supervisor will then sign the form. The supervisor then sends the form to HR. Will my supervisor and I need to agree on the rating? As long as there is evidence to support the rating, you are not required to agree with your supervisor. Be prepared to discuss and consider your supervisor's feedback. The most important thing to remember here is that supervisors and staff should hold a performance conversation where the ratings are discussed. If you think you are fully competent and your supervisor does not, why is this the case? It is a chance for supervisors and staff to honestly discuss your performance and provide feedback. Can I appeal? Yes, after the final moderated assessment results are received and within 5 working days. The appeal will be to the permanent secretary. There is an exception for Tier 2 and Tier 3 roles who appeal to the Public Service Commission. No new evidence will be accepted as part of the appeal process. How do I prepare for MyAPA? Update your individual work plans to include key performance indicators. Take responsibility for tracking progress on individual work plans. Identify gaps in performance. Talk to your supervisor about the performance assessment process. Attend a training run by the CSR Management Unit. The Civil Service Reform Management Unit is currently running training for the following groups of civil servants. Human Resources, Supervisors and Managers. In February, the focus will be on the formulation of the individual work plans, and closer to April, the focus of training will be on the MyAPA. All civil servants in the Performance Management Framework. If you need clarification, talk to your supervisor or your ministry HR. All the best for your performance assessment.